Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. In the previous video, I feel like I didn't explain the process of soldering enough, so let's start by doing that. The first step is to take the wheel apart so you can access the circuit board inside the hub of the wheel. You can do that by removing all the bolts in the middle of the wheel. Then you can open the hub in two parts, so you have access to the circuit board. To remove the circuit board, you will need to remove the two chrome screws holding it in place. So you can access the directional switches and desolder them. In the previous video, you can see how to desolder switches and stuff from a circuit board. Our goal is to replace the switches with the wires so we can relocate the control of those buttons on the wheel itself instead of on the circuit board. For this project, we will also need to relocate a ground on the wheel, so you can take a ground from one of the switches that you just removed, or you can take the ground from one of the switches of the paddle shift. To find the ground, you will need a multimeter, and you will see it is the only circuit that is shared with all the buttons. This is one of the button contacts that you will have to work on. In this application, on the right side, it is the ground contact, and on the left side, in red, it is the button contact, or the contact you will have to relocate. So your goal will be to solder your wire to the left part of the contact without touching at any moment the ground side. If at any moment the ground get in contact with the circuit of your button, your circuit will just not work. So the best way to avoid any mistake or further problem is to test every circuit as soon as you have done soldering it. You might want to use wire of different colors so you won't have to test every wires again to know which wire go to which button. After you're done connecting the wires to the button and the switch contact, you are now ready for the second part, which is connecting the other end of the wires. So it's now time to install the new switches and the new button on the faceplate or the cover of the new wheel. I did use a blank circuit board, which I cut the size that I need for the buttons, and I installed all my switches and all my buttons on them. Before gluing every switches where they belong. After we're done installing the switches and the button on the faceplate of the wheel, it is now time to assemble the hub to the wood part of the wheel and to connect the wires to the switches. Come on. I previously drilled a hole for the wire harness and drilled a hole for the screws and the bolt that will hold the hub to the main frame of the wheel. So everything is already perfectly centered. I did previously wrote down a list of every wire colors with every button allocation. So everything will be easier to find and to connect this way. By scratching out everything that has already been connected, I am avoiding useless searching of wires that have already been used. I have designed a map of the button layout with the color of every wire, so everything is super easy to follow. Yeah. I made a pretty long harness so it's easier to work around, and it allowed me to cut only one wire at a time when I'm connecting it, so there's no mistake possible, and I cannot lose a wire in the harness since they all have their color and they all still wrap together. It might look funny that I put the wheel in a bowl, but it makes it very easy to work on the wheel, and it's way more stable than just let the wheel laying down on a counter. Now that the switches on the main piece are all connected, it is now time to work on the cover or the faceplate of the wheel. There is way more switches to connect on it. So let's start by connecting all the ground together, and after that we will connect the button of the faceplate to the wire of the harness. For the ground, I obviously use the same color for the ground all over the wheel so there's no confusion about which one it is, and I won't mistake two wires when the time will come to connect it to the harness. Before connecting a tactile switch, you must know that the pins are on the opposite side are the same. Like in this example, the pin number 1 is the same as the pin number 2, and the pin number 3 is the same as the pin number 4. So you can connect your ground on the pin number 1 or 2, and the other side of your circuit on the pin number 3 or 4, and it will work as long as you don't connect both of your wires on the same side. So in the application that we're working right now, what I will do is connect the first ground on the pin number 1. Then I will take another ground connected on the pin number 2, and I will go on another switch connected on the pin number 1. And after that, taking another ground from the pin number 2 and another switch like that. So I won't have two wires connected on the same pin, but I will have a ground jumping on every switch without having the trouble of connecting two or three wires on the same pin. We are now at the point where we need to connect the electronic component from the faceplate to the harness coming from the circuit board. As you can see, some wires are already connected. But right now, I am untangling the wires so they are as short as possible, but still long enough so I can work around without breaking or stretching any wire. Now that
Now we
everything
have
is
closed
connected and tested,
and
it
tested.
is now time to close the cover of the wheel and do a test drive.
We're ready for the test drive. As you can see, it is the back of the original T300 RS. This is the only thing left from that wheel. Let's try it. Let's turn it on. So the start button is working. Let's get into the game and map the buttons. The hex button or the cross. Triangle. Those button and those button are the same. There's only 9 buttons, not 9 buttons, but 9 different buttons since the original T300RS only had 9 button options. So those buttons do the same, they both triangle, and those are both the circle. Settings, customize controls, okay. The accelerator will be the right pedal. The brake will be the left pedal. Steering to the left will be turning on the left. Steering to the right will be turning on the right. Pause will be option. Gear up will be the right pedal shift. Gear down will be the left pedal shift. Clutch will also be the right pedal shift. Next camera, what will I use? Alright, let's put this one. Oh, sorry, discard change, cancel. We're not done yet. Left camera will be this one. Next camera, I mean, which is also this button, remember? Look forward, no need for that. Look back. We will take the square for looking back. Left, we will take L2. Look right, we will take R2. Flashback, no need. DRS. DRS. Yeah, so I put that on what? Look back. I put that on look back. The circle is used, the X button is not used. Okay, so I will switch. Look back with the circle. Look back. Oh, again, wrong button. Cancel. So, look back. We will use the circle. Next camera, we will use the X button. Okay, now we'll set. Look to left L2, look right R2, no flashback. DRS. We'll use the square button for DRS. Remember, those are the same. Sorry, I mean triangle. Sorry. Pit limiter. We'll use DRS, the same button. Yeah, it's already set to DRS. Voice control, no need. For the MFD, the multifunctional display, the screen, we will use the square is already set, but we will push it again. It's the square. Menu hub, we will use menu hub because this one is up and down, as you can see. If you go up, let's go up. If you go down, go down. So for up, we will use up. And for menu down, we will use down. The cross will do the same thing, but this one is easier to get to. Left, so this one is right and left. For the left, we'll use up. And for menu right, we will go down. Push to talk, no need. And the gears, since we don't using a shifter, it's so this is it for the mapping. So now we will go and save it. So go back to circle, save it to RB wheel. Let's save. The wheel is now mapped. We'll now do a little drive test before going any further. But for whatever reason, I don't have any sound, so I have to turn off projector and turn it back on. In the meantime, harm there. I will hide pretty much everything from you, but we'll try it that way anyway. Yeah, you will see it. Turn it back on. We should have sound now. Yeah, we got sounds. Sorry for the delay. We'll do a quick drive test. See if everything's working fine in time trial. Let's try the whole Ferrari. Which one is the crazy one? I think it's the 2004. Yeah, the 2004 is a crazy car. Let's do that and let's see. Sync out where it's a tricky track. In Canada, do we have a setup in Canada? It's the first time I'm using it, so don't judge my driving, please. I'm not used to that wheel. It's a bit wider than the other one, so I will probably hit some walls. Just to make sure everything's working fine. Set up. Load. Yep, we have a setup in Canada. I don't know if it's any good. So let's go and try it. Flying now. Incredible sound.
In the next and last part of this series of videos, you will see a test drive with that same wheel, but completed, with the telemetry display on, and the look of the handle will be fixed. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.